Hello and welcome. Welcome to this quiet place, this moment in time we have set aside for contemplation. Let's begin simply by breathing. There is nothing else you need to do, nothing to solve and nothing to hold on to. Just find your comfort in the space you are in. Feel the weight of the day gently lifting from your shoulders, letting it drift away. Let's take a deep breath in, pulling the stillness of the universe into ourselves. And as you exhale, just let go. Let go of the noise, the rush, and the endless stream of questions. Breathe in and feel the calm. Breathe out and sink deeper into the peace of this present moment. The universe is vast, but it is also incredibly quiet. If you listen not with your ears, but with your mind, you can feel that stillness. It is a profound silence that stretches from one end of time to the other. Tonight in this stillness, let us imagine that a visitor is approaching. This is not a visita that rushes. It is not a visitor that demands our attention with sound or fury. It is instead a traveller, a silent traveller from the deep, deep ocean of time. In the autumn of our year 2025, as our world turned, with its familiar worries and familiar hopes, astronomers on Earth first noticed a new faint light in their telescopes. It was a traveller. We gave it a name, a designation to place it in our catalogue's 3-eye atlas. The 3 told us it was only the third such visitor we had ever confirmed. The I stood for interstellar, a traveller from between the stars. It did not arrive with fire. It was a silent speck moving with a purpose of its own, a purpose set in motion long, long ago in a place we will never know. It moved through our solar system, a temporary guest in our celestial home. It held its path a long, graceful arc that would eventually take it very close to our sun. And as it drew near to the heart of our system, it passed from our view. It slipped behind the brilliant, blinding light of our star. Some might have said it vanished, or that it went silent. But these words are for things that are lost or broken. This traveller was not lost. It simply entered a private moment with our star, a silent communion in the bright glare hidden from our watching eyes, a pass-by, in the great celestial dance before it continued on its endless outward journey. But the true wonder of this guest, the reason it stills our minds, is not where it is going. It is where it has been. It is what it is. The scientists who studied its faint light, its colour, its slow and steady path, came to a quiet, staggering realisation. This object, this messenger, 3-eye atlas, is old. It is not just old in the way we think of an ancient tree or an old stone ruin on a hillside. It is ancient on a cosmic scale. The estimates of its age are almost beyond our ability to comprehend. 10 billion years. Let that number just float in your mind. 10 billion years. It is not a number to be analysed. It is not a problem to be solved, it is a feeling. It is a sense of time so deep, so vast, it becomes a form of eternity. Let us try just for a moment to feel what that means. Our beautiful world, our Earth, the only home we have ever known, with its blue oceans, its swirling clouds, and its long, dramatic and noisy story of life. Our Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. Our sun, the brilliant burning star that gives us warmth and light and life itself, the centre of our solar family. Our sun is just a little older than that. This visitor, this quiet traveller, 3-eye atlas, was already ancient before our sun was even born. It was already drifting through the dark, silent cosmos for more than 5 billion years before the dust and gas that would become our solar system ever began to swirl. It was a relic, a wanderer, before the Earth or Mars or Jupiter had even begun to form. It is a true survivor from the dawn of the universe itself. The universe, we believe, is about 13.8 billion years old. This object is 10 billion years old. It is a piece of the beginning. It is perhaps just a speck of dust, a tiny frozen piece of rock and ice floating in the vast cathedral of the night. But this speck of dust is a time capsule. This speck of dust holds the memory of the very first stars. What has it witnessed on its long silent journey? It was there when the very first great galaxies were still forming, spinning themselves into the beautiful grand spirals we now see in our deepest telescopes. It has seen stars ignite in fiery bursts of creation, and then epochs later seen them collapse into darkness. It has passed through the ghostly expanding remnants of supernovas, clouds of freshly forged elements, the building blocks of future worlds that were scattered into the void. It has drifted. It has known a loneliness, a solitude that we cannot truly imagine. An epoch, a million years, a billion years. To this traveller, these vast stretches of time are just ticks of a clock we cannot perceive. It has floated in the perfect patient silence of interstellar space, the cold, the dark, the emptiness. It has known nothing but the subtle, constant and invisible hum of gravity and the faint, ancient light of distant, distant stars. It has just drifted for millennia upon millennia. Imagine the quiet the profound unbroken quiet of 10 billion years. No one to see it, no one to mark its passage, just floating, existing, enduring. It carries the echo of a younger universe, a universe that was still new, still finding its form. It is a fossil not of life, but of time itself. And we, in our brief flickering moment of consciousness, we look up and we ask, how can a thing so small, so simple survive for so long? How can it endure the journey through the void, passing through the neighborhoods of unknown massive stars, avoiding being captured or consumed or broken apart by tidal forces for 10 billion years? We look for answers, we build models, we calculate orbits and probabilities, we search for a logical chain of events. But perhaps just for tonight, it is not a puzzle to be solved. It is not a question that needs a complicated technical answer. It is simply a miracle, a quiet, profound miracle of endurance. The universe in its vastness allows for this. It allows for survival on scales that defy our everyday understanding. It allows for a single silent piece of the beginning to travel all this way through, all that time to pass for a fleeting moment through our small corner of the sky. Was it protected by the sheer staggering emptiness of the void, a shield of distance? Or is its path a testament to a kind of cosmic luck, a one in a trillion journey that just happened to lead it here? It doesn't matter. It represents a fundamental truth that to exist in itself is an act of persistence. This visitor 3i Atlas asks nothing of us. It offers no threat, it brings no urgent message, no answer to our human questions. It is simply a greeting from eternity, a reminder of the deep, deep time that flows around us and through us and came long before us. A reminder that the universe is ancient and slow and patient. As you rest now, as you let your mind drift, let yourself feel that profound, ancient calm. Feel the calm of 10 billion years, the peace of the long, silent journey, the stillness of the visitor who came from the dawn of time and just passed by. This ancient visitor was unlike anything we knew. It brought with it questions written in the language of physics. It did not speak with sound or light or symbols. It spoke with its very existence. It spoke with the way it moved the things it was made of and the path it chose. And the first question it whispered to us was a question about harmony. When we find a traveller from another star, we expect it to be random. We expect it to crash into our home, our solar system, from any direction. From high above or from far below, cutting through our predictable neighbourhood at a sharp, chaotic angle. But this visitor did not. It arrived with a strange and quiet grace. It entered our solar system on the very same plane as all of our planets. Imagine our solar system is a vast flat disk, like an old vinyl record spinning in the dark. All the planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, they all follow grooves on this same flat disk, all circling the sun in an orderly shared space. And this traveller from a place so far away we cannot even imagine it slid gently into that same groove. It joined our spinning family. It moved with us. It was a beautiful coincidence, a moment of stunning alignment. It was a perfect resonance in the cosmic dance. It was as if it recognized the shape of our home, as if it knew the rules of our house. It did not burst in, it simply joined the flow. This quiet harmony, this gentle arrival, it makes the heart wonder. Why this path? Was it simply the easiest path to take? Is the galaxy itself flatter than we think? Do pathways form between stars like invisible rivers in the sky guiding travellers along shared currents? Or was it just chance a 1 in a billion alignment that we were lucky enough to see? The question it leaves behind is not one of threat, it is one of connection. It asks, is order a universal language? It asks, is family a pattern that the cosmos repeats? This alignment, this coincidence, suggests that perhaps the universe is not just a collection of random lonely objects. Perhaps we are all part of a larger dance, a grand shared choreography. And this visitor was just the next dancer, taking its turn, moving in perfect time with the music of gravity. We watched it and we wondered about belonging. And as it moved closer, our instruments reached out, tasting its light, trying to understand what it was. We expected to find something familiar. We are so used to our own corner of the universe. We expect to find rocks like Mars or Mercury. We expect to find ice like the comets that drift in from the cold outer darkness. We are made of water. Our world is covered in it. We are water looking for itself. But this traveller was not like us. It was not like anything we knew. The light that bounced off its surface told a different story. It was dark and it was dense. It held very little water, very little ice. Instead, it was rich in metals, heavy complex metals, a high percentage of nickel things forged in the heart of a star long dead. It was not a natural rock as we know them, but it was not industrial either. That is a word of fear, a word of suspicion. No, this was something else. This was a recipe from a different cosmic kitchen. It forces us to open our minds to realize that our way is not the only way. We are creatures of liquid water, believe that life must have liquid water, but this visitor suggests a different path. It was born in a solar system where water was rare but metals were common. Perhaps it was born near a star that exploded, scattering its metallic heart across the void. Perhaps it was born in a place where the chemistry was simply different. It shows us with its quiet metallic presence that the universe has countless ways to build worlds. It shows us that our imagination is too small. We look for life, we look for worlds that look just like our own. This visitor whispers a new question. What else is possible? What kind of worlds are built from metal? What kind of life, if any, could arise in a place where water is not the most important thing? It does not provide an answer. It simply is. It is a 400-meter-long question mark reminding us that the universe is more varied, more creative, and more wondrous than we have ever dared to dream. It is a humbling visitor. It reminds us we do not know all the recipes. We have only tasted one meal from one kitchen in one tiny corner of the cosmos, and the universe has an infinite menu. And then, as it passed the heart of our home, it did something graceful. It fell toward our sun, pulled by that immense gravity, just as everything does. We watched it calculated its path as it swung around our star, preparing to be thrown back out into the darkness from which it came. We know how this works. We understand gravity. We knew what it should do. But as it felt the fierce heat of our sun, it changed. It did not just swing around, it pushed. It gave a tiny, elegant and unusual boost. It moved with a grace that physics alone could not quite explain. It was not a violent, fiery thrust. It was a gentle adjustment, a subtle shift. For one brief, wondrous moment, it seemed to reach for the sun as if to gather warmth, or light, or energy. And then just as quickly it used that energy, that warmth, to turn, to pivot, to aim itself toward its new destination. It was like a bird adjusting its wing in a It was beautiful. What was this? Was it just a pocket of hidden ice buried deep inside, finally turning to steam under the sun's glare and puffing it along a natural but lucky exhaust? Perhaps that is the simplest answer, but the question it whispers is so much more lovely. The timing, the grace of it felt less like an accident and more like a gesture. It felt like a hello and a goodbye. It reached for our star, our life giver, and then it turned away on its journey but changed by its encounter with us. It asks a question that shivers down the spine. It asks, is physics always unconscious? Or can the universe in its own slow, quiet way behave? Was this just a rock falling, or was this a traveller making a choice? We do not know, we may never know. But it has given us a new quiet wonder. We look at the stars differently now. We look for things that do not just fall, we look for things that dance. The visitor is leaving now. It is already far away, moving faster than any ship we have ever built. It is tumbling slowly, soundly back into the endless deep ocean between the seas. It is a speck, a memory, but it left one final haunting piece of poetry. We looked back at the place it came from, that one tiny patch of sky in the constellation Sagittarius. Where did it begin its journey thousands, perhaps millions of years ago? And we remembered. We remembered a night back in the year 1977, a long time ago. A radio telescope in Ohio was listening to the chorus of the stars, the static of the universe. And for just 1 minute, for just 72 seconds out of that exact same patch of sky, came a sound, a signal, a whisper that became a shout, a powerful, intelligent narrowband of radio unlike anything the universe makes on its own. It was so strong, so clear that the astronomer who saw it circled the data in red ink and wrote one word on the page. He wrote, "Wow," the wow signal. We turned all of our telescopes back to that spot for days, for months, for years, for decades, and we heard nothing, only silence. The signal was gone, a single 72-second shout from an unknown voice in the year 1977. And now, from that exact same corner of the sky, a visitor arrives. This is not evidence, this is not proof. It is a resonance, an echo. It is as if someone so very long ago shouted hello from across the darkness, and then seeing we did not answer, they sent a messenger. A quiet metal messenger to drift past our door to show us that we are not alone. Are they related, the shout and the traveller? Or is it just coincidence? Is it just the grand, beautiful, infinite cosmos rhyming with itself? A whisper from 1977 and now a visitor at our door. The visitor did not stay, it did not give us answers. It did not come to solve our problems or to threaten our existence. It came to make us wonder. It left us with questions written in the language of physics. Questions about harmony, Questions about possibility, questions about grace, and questions about echoes. It was a gift of perspective. And now as it drifts away back into the profound quiet deep, we are left here under the same stars, but our minds are wider now. Our world feels a little bigger, a little more mysterious, and a little less lonely. And we can hold these gentle questions as we too drift, and we can wonder about the dance and the recipe and the gesture and the echo. We can let these thoughts, these grand, quiet thoughts settle, and we can relax, we can contemplate, we can sleep. For 10 billion years, the journey was defined by one thing: the cold. A cold so complete, so absolute, it is beyond our human capacity to truly understand. It is the cold of interstellar space, the void between the stars, just a few degrees above absolute zero, the point where all motion, all heat ceases to exist. In this profound, unending night, our traveller moved, a silent shadow coasting through the dark. It was born in the dark, it lived in the dark, and it knew nothing else. For an age longer than the Earth has existed, longer than the Sun has been a stable star, this was its reality. A silent, frozen hibernation. But gravity is patient and is relentless. After 10 billion years, the faintest whisper of a new influence began to tug at it. A pull, infinitesimally small but persistent. The Sun, our Sun, a star it had never met in a system it had never known. This gentle, insistent pull began to bend its path. The long, straight line of its interstellar journey began to curve. It was falling. Slowly at first, and then, with gathering speed, it fell. Inward. Down the immense gravitational well of our solar system. For the first time in its existence, its environment began to change. Imagine, after 10 billion years of absolute cold feeling warmth, it would not be sudden. It would be the faintest, most gradual change. A single degree, then another. As it crossed the orbit of Pluto, of Neptune, of Uranus, the distant Sun was still just a bright star, but its influence was growing. Its energy, the solar wind, was touching the traveller for the first time. The surface, a crust of dust and ice 10 billion years old, began to feel this new sensation. A vibration, a resonance. The ice, not water ice like ours, but frozen gases, methane, carbon monoxide, nitrogen. Ices that had been solid for an eternity began to stir. The journey to perihelion, its closest approach to the Sun, was not a simple flight. It was a transformation. It was an awakening. The traveller was coming in from the cold, and as it crossed the threshold into the light, it began to change. From our tiny blue world we watched. Our telescopes, our unblinking eyes turned to this new arrival. At first it was just another faint smudge, a dot of light moving against the fixed stars. We catalogued it, named it 3I at Atlas, just another comet. But then it did something unexpected. It began to brighten, and not just brighten the way a comet does when the Sun boils its ice into a tail. This was different. It became brighter, faster, much faster. Our scientists who measure the world in numbers recorded it. They said its brightness was increasing by a factor of 7.5, an exponential curve. That number sounds violent, it sounds explosive, aggressive. We are trained to see such rapid change as alarming. But what if we were seeing it wrong? What if this was not an explosion but a blooming? What if after 10 billion years of winter we were witnessing the arrival of its spring? This was not a destructive act, it was an emergence. It was becoming quite suddenly extraordinarily brilliant. And as it brightened, it revealed itself. It opened. The cold, hard crust of eons began to break apart, not in a violent shattering and a graceful unfurling. A cloud of gas and dust began to swell around its core. This cloud, its coma grew to an astonishing size, 300,000 kilometers across. A vast glowing halo in the darkness. It was as if it was shrugging off its journey. It was shedding the dust of 1 billion years. The ancient dark cloak it had worn through the interstellar void was cast aside, revealing something new, something that had been hidden underneath all along. This was the first mystery, this sudden glorious blooming. It was beautiful, but it was not the true secret. The true secret was hidden in the quality of its light. When we look at objects in space, we almost always see reflected light. The moon shines, but it is the Sun's light bouncing off its surface. Jupiter, the planets, the asteroids, they're all mirrors reflecting the light of our star. Comets too. We expect them to shine with the pale yellow-white light of our Sun. So we pointed our instruments at this new, brilliant traveller. We looked at the colour of its light, its signature, and what we saw stopped us. It was the wrong colour. It was blue. A deep, rich, impossible blue. A colour that should not have been there. This blue was not the colour of reflected sunlight. This blue was something else. We measured it, and this is the part that changes everything. This blue light was hotter, more energetic than the surface of our own sun. A mirror cannot be hotter than the light it reflects. A reflection cannot be brighter, more powerful than its source. This was the moment, the realization. The light we were seeing from this traveler was not from our sun. It was creating its own light from deep within its ancient core. From under that crust of 10 billion years, a blue fire was shining. It was not just reflecting light, it was a source. And so we must pause. We must set aside our equations for a moment and simply wonder. We are faced with a profound question. What can shine from within after 10 billion years of frozen silence? What kind of energy, what kind of engine can lie dormant for an age that dwarfs our own existence and then ignite simply by feeling the warmth of a nearby star? We have no easy answer, but the questions are magnificent. Could it be a kind of natural fossil energy? Is it possible that this object born in another star's system, perhaps in the fiery chaos of a supernova, trapped some ancient powerful energy? Was this energy stored, frozen, locked away and waiting? A kind of primordial memory, a battery charged at the dawn of the universe, and only now in our sunlight is that energy being released, a light from the very morning of time finally set free. It's a beautiful thought, that the universe keeps such secrets, that the past is not dead but merely waiting in the cold. But there is another thought. It is a quieter thought, one that hovers just at the edge of our science in the realm of pure contemplation. What if this light is not just a stored memory? What if it is active? The brightening, the blooming, the unfurling. What if these were not just chemical reactions, but actions? 10 billion years is a long time to be cold. It is a long time to be silent. It is a very, very long time to travel. When we see a light hotter than a star shining from the heart of this ancient wanderer, we must allow ourselves to wonder. Is it possible this is not just physics, but a purpose? Is this a signal? A beacon finally lit now that it has reached the warmth of a new system. Is there an intent? Is it possible that after 10 billion years of silent sleeping passage, the traveller has finally arrived? Is it waking up? We do not know. We cannot know. We are only the watchers on the shore of a cosmic ocean as this mystery sails by. It is no longer just a piece of rock and ice. It is no longer just a comet. It is a question. It is a riddle. It is a light in the dark reminding us that the universe is not only larger than we imagine, it is more mysterious than we can possibly imagine. It is telling us that the void is not empty. It is full of things that are sleeping, waiting for the warmth, waiting to bloom. We have looked at this silent traveller. We have measured its path, its speed, its strange and gentle tumble as it moved through our solar system, a visitor from somewhere incredibly far away. We have tried to understand what it is, but now as the night deepens, let us ask the other question, not what, but why. Why is it here? What story brought it to us? The truth is we do not know, and in that not knowing there is a beautiful space, a space for wonder. The facts are few, but the possibilities are as wide as the night sky. Tonight, let us explore two of them, not as competing theories, but as two different poems, two stories about the universe and our place within it. Each story is beautiful, each tells us something profound. Let us begin with the first story, a story of nature, of time, and of a beautiful ancient tragedy. We can call it the fragment of a lost world. Imagine a place billions of years ago in a part of the galaxy we will never see. A new star has just been born. It flares to life, pushing away the dust and gas that surrounded it, and in that spinning disk of leftovers, new worlds are forming. There are large worlds, giants of gas and ice swirling with storms, and there are smaller worlds made of rock and metal slowly cooling down. Imagine one such world, a small planet, or perhaps the core of a planet that was just beginning to grow. It is forming in a dangerous place too close to one of the giant heavy worlds. As it cools, the heaviest things inside it sink to the center. A heart of metal forms rich with iron and heavy nickel. It is a world with a future, a world that might one day have oceans or mountains or perhaps even life. But it will never get the chance. The great gas giant, its powerful neighbor, pulls on it. The gravity of this huge planet is a relentless tide. It stretches the small world, it pulls and pulls, and then in a moment of terrible silent violence, the smaller world is broken. It is shattered. A world is born, and then it is torn apart. It does not explode, it simply comes apart, pulled by gravity into a billion pieces. A cloud of cosmic rubble. Most of it is just rock and ice, But some pieces, some are from that newly formed heart, shards of dense iron and nickel. This traveller, this object that passed our scene, it is a piece of that world's memory. It carries in its heart a core of nickel. It is wandering the cosmos, an orphan of a long-dead star. For billions of years it has travelled. Flung out of its own solar system by that same gravitational pull, it began a journey across the dark. It is a journey of unimaginable loneliness. Think of it, tumbling end over end in the absolute cold in the perfect black. For a time so long we can barely understand it. It has passed other stars, other clouds of gas always moving. A silent piece of a world that no longer exists. It carries no message. It has no purpose. It is simply what is left. It is a ghost. A geological ghost telling us that solar systems are places of creation, but also of destruction. When we saw it, we were not seeing a ship, we were seeing a scar. This story is beautiful, isn't it? It is tragic, yes. The end of a world. But it is beautiful because it connects us. It tells us that the laws of physics, the laws of gravity, the very materials that build planets are the same out there as they are here. Our own world has a core of iron and nickel. We are made of the same things. This object, this fragment, is a relative, a distant cousin from a broken family. It tells us that the universe is vast and powerful and often chaotic, but it is not alien. It is all part of one grand natural process. It is a story of chance. Billions of shards were thrown into space, and this is the one that by pure chance drifted through our neighbourhood. It came close enough for us to see at a tiny point of light, a messenger that doesn't even know it has a message. The message is simply, this happens, worlds are made, worlds are broken. I am proof. It is a story of matter and time, time and gravity, and it is a perfectly good story. It might be the true one. But there is another. Let us put that first story down gently and let us pick up another. This one is not about chance, it is about choice. It is not a story of a broken piece of a planet, it is a story of a finished piece of intelligence. This story we can call the Ship of Time. For this we must imagine something even more staggering. Or imagine something else. Imagine a time not 4 or 5 billion years ago, but 10 billion years ago. The universe was much younger. Our sun did not exist. Our solar system was just a cold cloud of gas waiting. But elsewhere, stars had already lived and died. Planets had already formed, and on one of those planets life had emerged. Not just life, but intelligence. A civilization so old, so advanced that we can barely even guess at what it was like. 10 billion years ago, an ancient civilization looked up at its stars, and they knew something. They knew that their world would not last forever. Their star would one day die. Their civilization, no matter how great, was temporary. They saw the universe, and they understood time. They knew that everything ends. And so they decided to create something that would not. How do you build something to last for billions of years? You cannot send living beings. Biology is too fragile. It needs food, water, warmth. You cannot send a complex machine because machines break down. You must send something simple, something that uses the universe instead of fighting it. You send a thought. They decided to send out messengers, not to conquer or to speak, but to witness. Ships designed to last forever. Perhaps they are thin and long like a needle designed to fly through dust with the smallest chance of being hit. Or perhaps they are like a sail, a huge thin sheet designed to be pushed by the light of stars themselves. A light sail. It would not need fuel. It would sail on the photons, the particles of light that flow from every star. It would be slow, yes, but it had all the time in the universe. They made it from the strongest materials they could find. Perhaps metals, perhaps something we have never dreamed of, and then they sent it. And not just one, perhaps they sent thousands in all directions. A ship, a thought made of matter. Its mission is not to do anything, its mission is to be. It is a bottle thrown into the cosmic ocean, and inside the bottle is a single perfect idea. We were here. For 10 billion years, this ship has sailed. It sailed through the dark patiently. It watched with sensors we cannot understand as our own solar system was born from its cloud of dust. It saw the Earth form. It sailed past as the first simple life emerged in our oceans. It was here in our galactic neighbourhood when the dinosaurs walked the Earth. It's been patiently observing the rise and fall of worlds, including our own. It is not a visitor. It is an artifact, an ancient silent watcher. Its journey is not one of loneliness, it is one of patience. In this story, its strange tumble is not a random spin. It is a scan. It is listening. It is watching. Its sudden speed up as it passed our sun was not a coincidence. It was using our star's gravity and our star's light to adjust its path to aim for its next destination. It came to see us, A brief fleeting glance at the new young civilization that has just learned to look up, and now it is on its way again. Perhaps it will sail for another billion years before it passes another star with life. This story is beautiful too. It is a story of hope. It is a story of intelligence and of legacy. It tells us that we are not the first. It tells us that the great empty silence of space might not be empty at all. It might be filled with the quiet, patient thoughts of those who came before. It suggests that the highest goal of a civilization is not to conquer, but to endure, to leave a single unbreakable piece of yourself for the future to find. We are witnessing a 10 billion-year-old thought. So here we are in this quiet of the night with two poems, The Orphan and The Messenger. One is a story of matter, the other is a story of mind. One tells us the universe is a grand physical place of accidental creation and destruction. We are the lucky accident. The other tells us the universe is a library, and we have just seen one of the oldest books. In the end, this traveller, this thing, gave us a gift. It gave us a mirror. When we looked at it, we saw our own fears. We saw our loneliness in the cosmos, the idea of being a shattered, orphaned world. And we saw our own deepest hopes. The hope that we are not alone. The hope that intelligence, that thought, can last longer than stars. The hope that something someday will remember us. As you drift now into that space between waking and sleeping, you do not have to choose. You can hold both stories in your mind. The child of a dead star and the ship of ancient time. Feel the cold, lonely journey of the fragment, and feel the deep, patient purpose of the probe. One is the poetry of nature, the other is the poetry of mind. Whatever it was, it came and it has gone. But it changed us. It made us look up and it made us wonder. And that perhaps was its true purpose all along. And so we come to the end of our long journey together tonight. We have drifted from the shores of our own world out past the edges of our solar system, across the great dark oceans between the stars. We have watched galaxies form and seen them fade. We have considered the impossible distances, the unimaginable time, and now we return. We are back in our quiet room, back in the familiar dark, but we bring the cosmos with us. We are home, but we turn our gaze upward one last time. For centuries we have looked at the night sky and wondered. But in the last few generations our gaze has changed. It has become focused. We have built new eyes. We have built them from glass and metal and gold. We call them Hubble. We call them the James Webb Space Telescope. These are the most powerful eyes humanity has ever opened. They float in the silent cold of space far above our restless atmosphere, and they stare into the deep. But perhaps we misunderstand what we're doing. We often speak of investigation. We talk about probing the universe as if it were a thing to be poked and prodded, a problem to be solved, an equation to be balanced. Tonight, let us reframe this. Let us see it differently. What if this is not an investigation? What if this is an act of listening? We turn our most powerful eyes up to the dark, not to probe, not to demand answers, not to conquer the unknown, but to listen. We are listening to its story. When you investigate, you come with questions. You're in control. You're looking for a specific answer. But when you listen, you are open. You are patient. You are humble. You are simply receiving what is given. The light that falls on the great golden mirror of the James Webb Telescope is impossibly old. Some of it has been travelling for 13 billion years since the universe was just a child. It is an echo from the very first dawn. We cannot investigate a memory. We can only listen to it. We can only let it tell us its story of the first stars and the first light. We point these incredible eyes at a patch of sky that looks completely black, completely empty, and we just wait. We let the shutter stay open for days, for weeks. We are not forcing the darkness to speak. We are giving it time. We are being still, letting the faintest, oldest whispers in the universe come to us. And the universe does speak. It shows us colours we cannot see with our own eyes, the ancient heat light of galaxies being born. It shows us clouds of dust where new planets are forming right now. It shows us the end and it shows us the beginning. We are not detectives. We are an audience. We are sitting in the dark watching a story that has been playing out for longer than our minds can hold. We are listening to the deep, slow, steady breath of the cosmos. And as we listen, we begin to notice that the universe is not as still as we once thought. For all of our history, we believed we were on an island. Our solar system, our sun, our planets, our comets was our home, and everything else was the outside, impossibly far away. We were a self-contained family floating alone in the void. And then they came. The visitors. First there was Oumuamua. The name means a messenger from afar. It came tumbling out of the deep dark, moving too fast to be one of ours. It was a strange shape, dark reddish. Not quite a comet, not quite an asteroid. It did not come from our Oort cloud. It came from another star. It looped around our sun, drawn in by gravity, and then it was thrown back out, continuing its journey. It did not stop, it did not slow down, it just passed through. Then came Borisov. This one was more familiar to a comet of ice and dust. But its path told us the same story. It was not from here. It was born in another solar system, wandering the galaxy for millions, perhaps billions of years before it happened to cut through our backyard. Suddenly we must change our entire understanding of home. We realize our home is a crossroads. Imagine living in a small quiet house in the middle of a vast silent forest, believing you are the only one for 1,000 miles. Then one morning you look out the window and see footprints in the snow. They do not come to your house, they do not stop at your door, they just pass by. On their way from one part of the forest you have never seen to another part you will never know. You are still alone in your house, but you are no longer lonely. This is our solar system. We are not an island, we are a stop on a galactic highway we never knew existed. The universe is not static, it is not empty. It is full of silent travellers. It is teeming with motion. These visitors, Oumuamua and Borisov, are just the first two we were able to see. How many more pass by every day, every year unseen? How many rocks, how many comets, how many pieces of other worlds are drifting through our space right now? We are not lonely, even if we are alone. We are not lonely because we know that the same processes that built our world are happening everywhere. Other stars have planets. Other stars have comets. Other stars have solar systems. We are part of a grand cosmic family even if we have never met our relatives. The silence we hear is not the silence of an empty room. It is the silence of a vast bustling city heard from far away, a low constant hum of existence. We are part of that hum. And this brings us to the greatest comfort of all, the comfort of the mystery. We ask questions about these visitors. What was Oumuamua? Was it a natural piece of an alien planet shattered by some ancient catastrophe? Was it a hydrogen iceberg, or was it something else? Was it a probe, a piece of ancient technology tumbling dead through the stars, a solar sail from a long-gone civilization? We will never know. It is gone forever. We had only a few weeks to look, and now it is on its way back to the interstellar dark, never to return. We crave an answer. It is in our nature to want to solve the puzzle, to label the box, to know the truth. We feel that natural is a comforting answer and artificial is a terrifying one. But tonight, as we drift on the edge of sleep, let us try something different. Let us let go of the need for an answer. Let us understand that the final answer, natural or artificial, does not matter as much as the mystery itself. The mystery is the gift. That mystery, that deep, profound, beautiful not knowing. It is a reminder. It reminds us that the universe is larger than we can imagine and older than we can comprehend. It is not a problem to be solved. It is not a test we are failing. It is a lullaby. Think of a lullaby. It does not provide answers. It does not explain the complexities of the day. A lullaby just soothes. It repeats. It tells you in its simple, gentle melody that the questions can wait. It gives you permission to stop thinking, to stop struggling, and to just rest. This is the mystery of the cosmos. It is a lullaby for the human mind. It is the universe humming to us, shh, it is okay, you do not have to understand everything, you just have to be. You are small and that is okay, you are temporary and that is okay, you are a part of something vast and ancient and you are safe. Let the not knowing be a soft pillow for your head. Let the ambiguity of the cosmos be a warm, heavy blanket. You do not need to hold the universe in your mind, the universe is holding you. Our journey tonight is over. We have looked up and we have listened. We have felt the quiet traffic of the cosmos passing by our door. We have found comfort in the questions rather than the answers. And now as we drift, we think of those travellers. We think of that other visitor, 3i Atlas. It too came in from the cold, a whisper from the deep dark between the stars. It swung past our sun, and now it is moving away back on its endless path. As 3i Atlas continues its journey, as it falls away from our light, as it returns to the deep dark, it carries our questions with it, it carries our wonder, and in exchange it leaves us with the peace of the night sky. It leaves us with the silence, a silence that is not empty but full. Just like that traveller, you can now continue your own journey, a different kind of journey, a journey inward, a journey into rest. Your day is over, its visit is complete, it is time to let it go, to let it travel on. Let the mysteries of the cosmos be the blanket that covers you. Feel it now, settling over you. It is heavy. Heavy with the weight of stars and time. It is warm. Warm with the ancient light of the first dawn. And it is peaceful. The pull of gravity that holds you to your bed. It is not a chain. It is an embrace. The planet is holding you. The solar system is holding you. The galaxy is cradling you as you float in the night. You are not separate from this. You are a part of its fabric. You are made from the same material as the stars, and you are returning to the same quiet that existed before the stars. The universe is watching, not with eyes, but with time. It is patient. It has all the time in the world. It is not in a hurry, and you do not need to be either. The universe is infinite. There is enough space in it to hold all of your thoughts, all of your worries, all of your plans for tomorrow. You can just let them go, let them drift away out into the endless gentle dark. There is nothing left to do. There is nothing left to solve. There is only this moment, this quiet, this peace. The universe is here, and it is patient, and it is endless. Sleep now, sleep now.